Hey, this is a video about how you can debug code in just Neovim, like you would in VS Code, right? This was requested by my coworker and my buddy Martinez, who I guess is interested in this. So to do this, right, like you're gonna need a couple plugins, just like everything in Neovim, and these are the main ones that I'll use right here. So first one is NVIM-DAP, right? This is your debug adapter, which acts kind of like a shim between your editor and the debugger itself. Here's NVIM-DAP UI, which is a UI for this package, right? And here's my own NVIM-DAP projects. And what this does, it allows you to put a Lua file in a directory in your repository that configures per project debugging setup. So this is basically the equivalent of how VS Code can find your launch.json. This little project just does that. It just like looks for a Lua file that can get config into NVIM-DAP and keep that per project instead of having it across, instead of having one NVIM-DAP config across all projects. Okay, so I have some like toy C code over here, which I've been playing with, and I have a seg fault right now, which I thought was a good opportunity to show you how I'll go ahead and debug this right in my editor. So the issue I'm having is in a file called net.test, and it's this function right here. So what we can do is I can use the command dap toggle breakpoint to put a breakpoint right there, right? And real quick, like I mentioned, I have a .nvim folder here with this NVIM-DAP setup, and this is like a Lua equivalent to a launch.json, right? And it basically sets up the debugger I want to use, and then some configurations for the C file type, and some binaries that you can launch the debugger with. So in this case, we actually have net.test binary, which is basically just testing some toy code that I have written. So we toggle the breakpoint right here, and this is the function that's seg faulting. So what we can do now is we can do like a dap toggle or a dap continue, and this is your entry point into like the whole debugging mode, I guess, for lack of a better term. But this will start you debugging. So let's go ahead and do that, and then you'll notice that it's going to ask me for, hey, what binary do you actually want to debug right now? And we want to do the net test, right? Okay, so that triggered. I have some config in my dot files that know to open up NVIM-DAP UI when the debugger starts, right? So working our way on the left side, I'll just like describe these things real quick. There's expressions, which I don't have any, but you can define some expressions for the debugger. Here's your stack, right, which we can kind of like move up and down as we're debugging. And then you have some local variables all the way at the bottom here that you can kind of dig into and see the state of them, right? Okay, so we are in this function which is causing an issue, right? And there's this little area down here, which the UI is kind of cool. They implemented this like little icons on the WinBar itself, which I don't even know how they did actually. I have to look at that because I'm not sure how you can click on these things and it works. But so now we can just step through our code, right? Just like in VS Code, right? And then we can follow our way through the functions. And at some point, we're going to get to a seg fault, right? Okay, so we got to a seg fault, so that's cool, right? We know that something's going on right here. So now I can actually do dap. Okay, so maybe just to show you, because I know my friend Martinez is more interested in just knowing, like, can I navigate the stack? And yes, you can, right? It's like, okay, I have a seg fault there, but I actually want to go up the stack, and then I want to put a toggle a breakpoint here, right? Dap toggle break, and now we can restart. We can basically restart our debugging, and then we can continue to that breakpoint we set, right? And now we're in that breakpoint. And then we can start stepping through there. And now we're in that code that has the seg fault, right? So something's up here. I'm not going to do the whole debugging. I just want to show you that you can kind of hop around the stack here. You can set breakpoints. You can basically rerun the whole binary. Yeah, and then maybe it's kind of cool just to like take a look at the local variables for the stack at the time. You can kind of dig into these. And then, you know, okay, let's go to our latest stack frame. Now, where it might fall off a little bit from VS Code is I don't really think there's like a good hex viewer or a memory viewer, but I just know like LLDB, so I'll probably do like a memory read, you know, like the node, where the node is, right? And then you can start grabbing. So you'll just like, yeah, that's kind of like one of the shortcomings, and I do kind of wish there was like a good hex editor, but I don't know of one any right now. So yeah, it's like really quick way of just showing you like what you can do with just Neovim and NVIM-DAP and that stuff. Yeah, if you have any other questions, just let me know.